Some monsters hunt in the dark. They are driven by rage, by lust, by a need they can barely comprehend. They kill and then they retreat into the shadows, hoping to never be found. But there is another kind of monster, a monster who doesn't fear the light, a monster who craves attention, who sees murder not as an end, but as a performance, a monster who wants you to know his name, but never his face. In the late 1960s, one such monster began a conversation with America. He wrote letters, he created puzzles, and he signed his work with a symbol that would become a permanent scar on the nation's psyche. He called himself the Zodiac, and his opening line, written in a letter to 3 newspapers, was a declaration of war on society itself. I like killing people because it is so much fun. This is the story of America's most iconic unsolved mystery. A story of ciphers, terror, and a ghost who, to this day, has never been caught. Our story begins not with a whisper, but with a brutal scream in the night. December 20th, 1968. On the lonely Lover's Lane in Benicia, California, 2 high school students, David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, are on their first date. They are parked, enjoying a quiet moment, when another car pulls up beside them. A man gets out, holding a gun. Without a word, he shoots David in the head, killing him instantly. Betty Lou scrambles from the car, running for her life into the darkness. The man calmly takes aim and shoots her 5 times in the back. She dies on the side of the road. The attack is swift, brutal, and seemingly random. The local police are horrified, but they assume it's a tragic, isolated incident. A robbery gone wrong, perhaps? They have no idea that this is just the opening act of a long and terrifying play. For 6 months, there is silence. The fear in the community begins to fade. Then, on the night of July 4th, 1969, 20 miles away in Vallejo, another young couple, Darlene Farron and Michael Mago, are parked in a similar. A car pulls up behind them, its lights blinding. A man approaches with a flashlight and a gun. He opens fire, riddling the car with bullets. Darlene is killed. Michael, despite being shot in the face, neck, and chest, miraculously survives. But this time, the killer does something different. Less than an hour after the attack, he picks up a payphone. He calls the Vallejo Police Department. In a low, monotone, rehearsed voice, he reports the crime he has just committed. He claims responsibility for the murders 6 months earlier. And he ends the call with a chilling promise. I'm the one who did it. The Phantom now had a voice. A few weeks later, the game truly began. 3 identical letters arrived at the offices of 3 different newspapers: the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald. The letters contained details that only the killer could know, proving their authenticity. But more than that, they contained a demand. Each letter included 1/3 of a complex 408-symbol cipher. The writer demanded that the newspapers publish his coded message on their front pages, or he would go on a kill rampage. And he signed the letters not with a name, but with a symbol, a circle with a cross drawn through it. The Zodiac had given himself a brand. The newspapers, under immense pressure, complied. The cipher was published, and the entire Bay Area became consumed with trying to solve it. A week later, the puzzle was cracked, not by the FBI or the police, but by a high school teacher and his wife. The message was a rambling, misspelled confession. It spoke of collecting slaves for the afterlife. and it contained the most terrifying line of all: "I will not give you my name." The Zodiac's reign of terror continued. He would strike again, this time in broad daylight. At Lake Berryessa, he approached another young couple, Ryan Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard, while wearing a bizarre black executioner's hood adorned with his symbol. He told them he was an escaped convict who needed their car and money. Then he tied them up and brutally stabbed them over and over again before leaving them for dead. He then walked calmly to their car and drew his symbol on the door with a pen, along with the dates of his previous attacks. Cecilia would die from her injuries. Ryan, like Michael McGough, would survive to tell the tale. The Zodiac's final confirmed murder was his most audacious. He shot a taxi driver, Paul Stein, in the head in the wealthy Presidio Heights neighborhood of San Francisco. As police raced to the scene, 2 officers passed a man walking calmly away, but because the radio dispatcher had mistakenly described the suspect as a black man, they let him go. It was almost certainly the Zodiac. He had looked law enforcement in the eye and simply walked away into the night. He would later mail a piece of Stein's blood-soaked shirt to the Chronicle, proving he was a killer and mocking the police for their incompetence. After this, the confirmed murders stopped, but the letters and ciphers continued for years. He sent more complex codes, greeting cards, and threats. He claimed to have killed as many as 37 people. The hunt for the Zodiac became one of the largest and most frustrating in American history. Detectives from multiple jurisdictions chased thousands of leads. The list of suspects was long and varied, from a disturbed school teacher who was a prime suspect to a local eccentric with a criminal past. But every lead led to a dead end. The evidence was always circumstantial. The Zodiac was always one step ahead. He was a master of leaving just enough clues to create a mystery, but never enough to be caught. So why does this case still haunt us? It is because the Zodiac was more than a killer. He was a master storyteller, with the media as his stage and the public as his terrified audience. He created a persona, a modern-day boogeyman, and then vanished, leaving us with a puzzle that has never been solved. Was he a genius or just a lucky madman? Was he one of the many suspects or someone no one ever considered? We may never know. The case files remain open, a cold, silent testament to a killer who achieved his ultimate goal. He created a legend, a dark and enduring myth, and in doing so, he made himself immortal. His name may be unknown, but his symbol and the fear it represents will never be forgotten.